Investor Schooling. All opinions or statements expressed on the program are solely those of Investor Schooling or their guests and do not reflect the opinions of WPHT or Odyssey.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. This is Investor Schooling Live with your host, Larry Steinhouse, CEO of Investor Schooling.
Mike's hot.
All right. Good morning and welcome to Investor Schooling Live. Hey, Investor Schooling Live is transmitting from the Investor Schooling Studios here in the Investor Schooling headquarters. I'm Larry Steinhouse. I am the CEO of Investor Schooling. I want to thank you for listening, and let's get ready to learn real estate investing, stock options trading, and so many more things about money I bet you didn't know. Hey, you can call anytime during the show with your questions, 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. That's right. We're a live program. We're here Saturday morning at 10 o'clock right now, and we're live on the air, and you can call anytime during the show, and we'll take your calls. And don't worry about what the topic. We'll take your call about anything that has to do with money, finances, or even politics. Hey, we're also live on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube, and you can leave comments there as well. If you're watching online, please say hi. It's the only way I know you're watching, and I promise to say hi back when you make a comment. Hey, at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing, stock options trading, how to save money in taxes, how to be financially free, and we even give you the motivation to make money work for you instead of you working for money. Investor Schooling is located in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, right off the Newtown Bypass, serving New Jersey, the greater Philadelphia areas in a real brick and mortar building, and our students are also located in several other states with our exclusive web access to our classes and seminars. Get ready to learn something new. Get ready to learn the business of entrepreneurship, real estate investing, and stock options trading from your friendly neighborhood financial expert. And hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. By the way, everybody, I have a very interesting guest today. So I said, every week I say to my wife, hey, you should come on the show. And she says,
no.
And then I said last night, Linda, you should come on the show. And she said,
okay.
So here we go. We got Linda Steinhouse, the special guest. This is so awesome. Now, I'm going to talk to Linda about a bunch of things, but hey, anybody want to call in and talk to Linda and ask her what it's like to be married to the craziest person on the planet, Larry Steinhouse? So you can call in at 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. Call in, ask questions, say hello to Linda, wish her luck to be married to me because she probably needs it.
That's not true.
Oh, you're so sweet.
It's love. It's not luck.
All right, so Linda, tell us about you. Oh, no, I put you on the spot, didn't I?
You put me on the spot. That can't happen.
You knew that was going to happen, though, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I thought you'd respect me more than that.
Oh, man. Oh, this is going to get good already. All right, so I have a question for you, though.
Okay.
So we've known each other for 8 years now? 7 years now?
Yeah.
Right? We've been married for 5, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the most interesting thing you learned about money from me?
I learned a lot about money from you from the time when we began dating almost.
Yeah.
Picking up pennies was one of the first things, which I was like, that's kind of weird.
Well, let's talk about that because actually I think that's a really cool thing. So what did I say? I said pick up pennies and you were like, huh?
I didn't comprehend the true meaning under that, meaning in my terms that if you pick up or if you avoid picking up a penny, change, whatever, why would God provide you with anything more financially if you can't even respect what's there? And I thought, well, that kind of makes sense. So tested it out. And I think the biggest thing I ever found, the one time in our own neighborhood when we were running, remember, we found $20, a $20 bill.
Oh,
was
yeah,
there.
we did. We found $20, right.
And there was times I found $10 when we were out looking at a house one time. There was a $10 bill randomly on the sidewalk. And there's always random, just one single penny wherever we go, it seems to be. And so the good Lord provides.
Yeah, so here's something that's really odd. So a lot of people will walk by a penny and go, oh, it's just a penny. I'm not going to pick it up. And so here's really something that's interesting, too. Do you know how much a penny is?
Yes, it's 1% of $1,000 interest, right?
It's 1 month's interest on $1,000. So it's like having $1,000 in the bank. So if you don't have $1,000 in the bank, you're not getting a 1 cent return a month on your money. Now you may think that that's not a lot, but I'm going to tell you right now, it starts from there. It absolutely starts from there. You start picking up pennies, and your life will change financially. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get to our favorite penny story, but we have somebody online. I want to say hello to John from Delaware. But before,
Yes.
because the penny stories are so. Some of them are hysterical. Hey, John, what's going on, man?
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I own a lot of Twitter stock, and I bought it when it was under $15 a share. Now it's about $54 a share. Will Musk keep it as a private company? Will it no longer be traded on the stock market?
Yeah, so now you no longer own the stock. I don't know if you realize that as of yesterday, you no longer own the stock. It has been sold.
So what will I do? Just cash me out?
Yeah, he cashed you out. You have a big amount of cash in your account right now. I mean, depending on how many shares you have, but you have a big amount of cash in your.
I have a lot, but I'll be paying a lot of taxes on it.
That's absolutely true. And so I'm trying to think about. Did you have that in an IRA or did you have that in regular cash account?
I have it in a regular in a trust.
Oh, you had it in a trust. Okay, so
I had it with Vanguard in a trust.
All right. Well, what's going to happen? You might want to reach out to your. So the guy who runs. Let me ask you a question. Can you tell me how many shares you had, or is it something you don't want to discuss?
Well, I don't want. I don't know about my. I'm always leery about the IRS and the weaponization of that kind of thing. I don't like to talk about what. All I'm concerned about is should I go to my CPA, my lawyer, in reference to protecting the profits.
Yeah. Well, so do you have any other stocks in your account right now?
I have a lot of stuff.
So what you might want to do is
I own Bank of America. I own Oracle. I own a lot of stocks.
So you're a long-term.
I'm very fortunate. I besides stock, I have a lot of real estate, and I have insurance, and I also have cash.
I don't know. You sound like a kind of guy I should get to know.
Well, I had a consulting company for a lot of years. I was a telecommunications consulting. When Reagan administration broke up AT&T, my expertise was with the non-regional bell operating companies, but I only worked in Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, and New Jersey.
That's awesome.
I did a lot of big racetracks like Delaware Park, Maryland Jockey Club, on Pimlico, Law and Bowie, universities, big companies, manufacturing companies. My knowledge was UC, regional bell. They controlled the lattice. You dial from 302 like where I'm at to.
Hold on, John. I got to focus you back in here to the question. So the question you had was, are you going to pay taxes? Yeah, you're going to pay taxes. But if you have some dogs, some bad stocks that you've been trying to get rid of, now's the time to get rid of them because you get to take that loss against this gain. So you might want to check with your financial advisor, find out what stocks you have, find out what he thinks are bad stocks. I mean, you could come to me. You could certainly bring it to me if you want to come here on a Thursday night and take a free class and bring it to me after class. I'll be more than happy to do that. Look at it for you and tell you what I think you should sell, and that would resolve some of your problem. But at the same time, it's funny. My account always says the same thing to me. He goes, "Larry, you owe a lot of money this year. Aren't you glad?" And I'm always like, "Yep, I am," because that means I made a lot of money. So you just made a lot of money in your Twitter stock, which is a great thing. Pretty good. You probably made 400 to 500% on your.
Yeah, but the government always wants to take more of your money.
Make sure you vote Republican, and that won't happen as often.
I do. I've been registered Republican since since I was a young man. In the state of Delaware, I moved to Delaware in 1970, and I never voted for Biden or any of that. I was always
I can't imagine you voting for Biden.
I'm concerned about the free market. Capitalism is 80% of the world's economy depends on fossil fuels.
I know, John. I'm just teasing you. But
Biden is the most dangerous man in the world. He's more dangerous than Putin and Xi.
I love this. We're going into the politics side. Hey, are you going to be at the?
Oh, he is. He's a very dangerous man because he has no He's a puppet. The real power. In my opinion, I read Karl Marx and the Marxist policy.
We agree on politics, John. I love it. This is great. Hey, I know you're in Delaware, but are you going to go to the any of the Dr. Oz or Mastriano rallies?
Well, I lived in Pennsylvania, and my vote was de-enfranchised in the 2020 election. First of all, Governor Wolf and the rogues, the state Supreme Court, broke federal law when they changed the rules on the voting law.
Hey, John, I got to do this, though, John.
And there was lawsuits. Look, I know guys that had lawsuits.
Hold on, John. I could talk to you all day, and you're awesome, but I got to get back to the show. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's good.
Hey, stop by one day. Go to investorschooling.com. Stop by one day. Say hello. Shake my hand. I'm be anxious to meet you and find out more about what you're going on. And anybody else wants to go to investorschooling.com, they can sign up for a free class. And, of course, if you want to call in today, 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. And, yes, if you want to call and complain about the government, that's okay with me. I'm okay with you, but I only give you a short time to do that. 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. All right, getting back to Linda and the picking up pennies. Right? So I'm telling you right now, this is a great thing. You start picking up pennies. You'll be surprised how quickly your financial life changes. I had so many experiences of when I picked up pennies, money just came to me. It was crazy. It really happened. And I got to tell you, this was advice that I learned from somebody a long, long time ago that said to do it. And I'm like, oh, come on. And sure enough, it actually works. You'd be surprised. But what about our favorite story about picking up pennies?
On the New York subway?
Yeah. So wait to hear this story. You guys are going to love this.
Oh, you want me to tell it?
Oh, you tell it, of course.
I'll tell it. We're on this New York subway. We used to like to go to Capitol Grill. I used to take Larry away for the weekend for his birthday and enjoy New York City. We were on the subway sitting there, and it was totally crowded. People, standing room only, actually, but we were sitting. And I nudged him when I saw under the seat across from us a penny by somebody's foot. Well, there was one there, and then there was one at the end of the row. Right. So as the train was about to stop at the next station, and I said to him, okay, we were actually getting out at that stop, and it had lessened, people had gotten off. I said, okay, so I'm going for that one, you go for the other one, and we'll grab them on our way out the door. And so we both get up when the train stopped. We go over, squat down, each grab our penny, and get out the door before it slams on us. And Larry goes, oh, no. You could hear this sound, but I did not realize what the oh no was for. And he said, I just split my pants. He had squatted down to get the penny and totally ripped the back seam of his pants. Needless to say, they were nice pants because we were going to Capitol Grill. So.
From the front to the back, it was split right down the middle. It was hysterical.
It was very funny. So we were walking through the streets of New York, bent over, laughing so hard, and yes, trying to keep him from bending over too much, and ended up in I think it was a J.C. Penney, which was right by the restaurant. So we ran in. And he found a new pair of pants, went in, tried them on, or actually changed them out, came up to the counter to pay the cashier for the new pair of pants, and handed him the ripped pair, too.
Right, he said, throw these away. But it was just hysterical. That story is just so hysterical. But, it's funny, like, people, was it worth it? Well, it's not how it works. It cost me $40, $50 to get another pair of pants, but I had the penny, and that penny is a great story.
We had two pennies.
And we had a
lot of laughs.
They
were priceless.
Exactly. So now we have this story to tell over and over again. So we actually get a tax write-off telling this story, right?
That's however you figure it, huh?
A couple people online saying hi. We got Lucas saying hi, and Joe is saying hi. He's on LinkedIn right now. So say hello to Joe.
Hi, Joe.
All right, that's just one story. So that's just one thing about money that you learned. And I'm telling you guys, start doing this. Start picking up pennies. Your life is going to change financially. I'm telling you, it's the weirdest thing. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, I saw checks coming in. I saw things that I didn't see before. You picked up a $20 bill, a $10 bill, mm-hmm. and it's so bizarre. It really works. Now, there are times where Linda's actually, endangered herself. we're crossing the street in Philadelphia one time going to a seminar, and all of a sudden I feel like we're holding hands. I feel a tug on my hand. I'm like, what's going on? And she's bending over, grabbing a penny while there's a car flying up the road. I'm like, come on! But you got the penny. It's
And
all
it
good.
was night. The penny was shining in the
Right.
oncoming car's headlights, so I just automatically stopped and bent over and picked it up. I thought they were a little further away, but I won't normally do that.
Right. So now we have all these people online going, I listen to Larry's show every week, and he gives such great advice. And he's always telling me to pick up pennies. I'm telling you, pick up the pennies. You'll be surprised. It'll be fantastic. Hey, Mike from Chicago says hi. He's online as well. All right. So what are the other things that you learned that I started teaching you early?
You
about
taught me
finances?
well when I was a single, broke mom. I had living beneath paycheck to paycheck, actually, in the medical world. And you told me put, I think, $20 aside each paycheck
Yeah, it was
for
actually
yourself.
10%, right? 10%, right?
Yeah, maybe I don't even think $20 was 10%.
I know.
No, hon.
No.
But anyway, so I thought I can't afford to do that. I either buy toilet paper this week or I put the $20 aside, right? And I eventually started doing that, and it added up. It really added up in the bank account. And there was one month where I didn't even think I was going to pay my rent. And I realized that in that savings account, I had enough to help out with my paying my rent that month. And I was like, wow, I actually did it. So it made a lot of sense. So
Yeah, so that's
Put
another
it
thing.
aside.
So, yeah, if you're struggling with money, put money aside. Try to put 10% minimum in your of your money. So if your paycheck is $1,700, take $170 and put it in a separate account. Now, the weird thing is you think you can't do this, but everyone I coach on this one, and this is for people in a different situation than us, obviously now, but everyone I coach on this, they tell me 6 months later, they like, I don't know how I did it, but not only have I done it, I've been paying my bills and I feel more comfortable about money. It is a psychological thing, and I don't know how it works or why it works, but it really does work. So if you want to start doing that, do that as well.
mindset.
Yeah, exactly. What was the other crazy things that you started learning about money?
I don't know if there's anything crazy. I think I'm more relaxed about it now, mostly because, I have you and depend on you, but I do my share as best I can. But I definitely have a different feel about money. I don't have the daily concern for it. I don't have the stay awake all night. How am I going to do this tomorrow? And not having the children at home anymore either makes it a little easier for me. I mean, as a single parent, that was extremely stressful. You wanted to make sure you could put food on the table for your child the next day, or let them do whatever activity they wanted to do, and things like that. And it's very stressful, and I never, ever want to go back there again. And God bless those who are there. And take the advice, because guess what? You'll come out of it on the other side.
Yeah, now you have to stress about all these bills you have to pay for me because I've given you that task
All the
of paying the. So it's like, one of the things you should do if you were a married couple is you should share tasks. Now I know 100% of what's going on, but I don't feel like physically writing the checks. So Linda now physically writes the checks, or actually does them by computer. But now she has to come to me now. Should I pay this? And it's funny because you were worried about buying food or buying toilet paper. Now you're worried about, should I pay this huge tax bill on this guy, or should I pay this, or should I pay this huge tax bill on this other one?
Right.
Which one should we pay first? And
Right.
it's funny, the numbers are enormous compared to a roll of toilet paper, right?
That's right.
I mean, we were talking the other day, because it happens. You're an entrepreneur. Sometimes you're high in the checkbook, sometimes you're low in the checkbook, and it was like, should I pay the $7,000 tax bill with the $9,000 in there, or should I pay the $6,000 tax bill? And we look at it, we go, all right, which one is due first, and or which one has less of a penalty if we pay it earlier?
Right.
So that's the things that you have to deal with now, which is kind of cool, and it's nice having a lot of properties, isn't it? Although every
It
once
is
in a
nice
while,
having a lot of properties. I just don't like the tax people that come along with them. And
yeah, right.
it seems I finally get them paid, and then it comes around again. But or you get one that every now and then there's a real humdinger of one. But I'll be nice.
Yes. Yeah, the tax collector in what county is that?
West Norriton.
In West Norriton, yes. The tax collector in West Norriton, He is clearly let me show you how controlling I can be because I am a tax collector now. I used to be a really bad real estate agent, but now I'm a tax collector and I collect taxes in West Norriton County and I am the top of the mountain. Yay! And I mean, you know, unbelievable. One day I'll tell you the story about that tax collector, how we made how we wrote it out
digging
to
his
the
own
wrong person.
hole.
Yeah, he's
No,
definitely
it's
digging
too
his
long
own
of a
hole.
story.
Yeah.
Don't even start because it's
Yeah, never had a problem with tax collector before.
unbelievable. This guy.
I bet you could tell which side of the political fence he's on.
I could probably tell that.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the fact that I've gone above and beyond him to.
Yeah, and he's probably wearing a
discuss it.
mask while we're talking about him.
Well, he's lied anyway.
I know he lied over and over again. Anyway, 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. Call in with any questions or anything you want to talk about. 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. One more time in case you didn't hear it. 855-939-1137. You can call in and talk about money. You can call in and talk about real estate. You can talk about anything. You can talk about anything that's in my book too. So I have a book out, right, Linda?
I think so.
Okay. You read it, didn't you?
I read it before it was published.
That's
I
right.
edited it.
You helped edit it. You're right. That's true. And the book is called Money Hacks, and the subtitle is Because Everything You Think You Know About Money is Wrong. And I'm telling you, this is the reality. The reality is most people have no clue about money. They have no idea about the things about money. What were some of the I don't know, do you have any takeaways from the book?
Well, off the top of my head, I don't, only because there was so much in there that I had already lived and experienced with you. So
It's exactly right.
What I see and what I've known from you all these years.
So I got a question for you. Let's see if we could give away a book.
Absolutely.
All right. So we give away a book about once a week. We come up with something from the book that we talk about. And I'm going to ask this question to the audience. What's better, buying a car or leasing a car? And I'm going to see what you guys say, because I'll be honest with you, I want to see what you guys think. So is it better to buy a car or is it better to lease a car? And if you call in and you have an intelligent answer, it doesn't even have to be the right answer. It has to be an intelligent answer. I am going to tell you what. We're going to mail you a free copy of the book. So you're going to get a free copy of Money Hacks. Give me a call at 855-939-1137 and give me an intelligent reason why you should either lease a car or an intelligent reason why you should buy a car. And I'd be curious to talk about this with you guys. 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. So now I have another question for you, Linda.
Okay.
What's it like being married to an entrepreneur?
To me, I don't go by the entrepreneur at all. I go by the personality.
Oh, what's it like being married to a crazy guy like me?
How long of a show is this?
Very good, very good. So this must be bring your wife on the show Saturday, because I heard another show 2 hours ago that also had their wife on the show, which is just total coincidence, especially because their show is recorded.
Oh.
So it's total coincidence. I thought that was really, really funny that they were doing it too. 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. Look, we got Mike from Chicago. I love it. What's going on, Mike?
Larry, how are you, buddy?
All right, man. I'm so excited that you're on. I think I know who this is.
You do know who this is. I called to answer the question.
All right, what's the question? And what's the answer?
Well, the question is it better to buy or lease a car? And the answer is it's always better to lease a vehicle because, one, the entire lease cost is deductible, as well as all the expenses of running the car.
All right, I like the answer. The answer is definitely intelligent, but there's even more to it than that. And there's actually, believe it or not, there's arguments to buy it, arguments to lease it, depending on what side you're on, and they're both good. But we will definitely send you out a book. And Mike, you are the student that I think you are, correct?
Yes, I am.
Then I already have your address. We're going to send you out a book. But I'm assuming you already had a copy of the book, didn't you?
I did not, but I'm looking forward to it. I hadn't ordered it yet, but you haven't been on the radio for 2 weeks, so I'm sitting here at a bus stop smoking a cigar, and all of a sudden you're live. I got the alert that you're live today.
Oh, that's cool. All right, excellent. Well, I'm glad you watched. That's excellent. So we will send you out a book, and say hello to Linda.
Hi, Mike.
Yeah, I also Linda, you're the much better looking half of the two of you.
Well, that's for sure.
You're very sweet. Thank you.
And she certainly has more hair than I do.
Guys,
Well, thanks,
Larry,
Mike. Hey,
almost
Mike,
anybody has more hair.
so real quick, Mike. So you're a student of investor schooling. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about your experience?
Well, my experience at investor schooling was Larry and his previous partner Phil were a lifeline for me for about a year. But since then, I can't tell you how much it means to me. I've been watching the videos, and every video I watch, I have to go back and watch it a second or third time because I learn 2 or 3 new things every time I listen to the video. I've been watching the wholesale videos with you and with the other guy. I can't remember his name.
Evan?
But I've learned so much.
Yeah.
What's that?
Evan was his name.
Evan, that's it,
Yeah.
Evan. And I've learned so much about wholesaling. And I've got three potential deals that I'm working on right now for
that's
wholesaling.
awesome.
So it's really been great. Yeah. And the stock options trading, well, you haven't had the best advice lately, but it's going to
It's been
turn
a little bit rough, I know. although my meta advice the other day was pretty good when I said I think it's going to tank, but that's fine. And Amazon, I knew Amazon was going to tank. That was an obvious one.
It sure did tank.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that would have been a great
better
play.
Better days are coming.
That's great. Okay. Well, I totally appreciate you calling, Mike, and keep up the good work, man. We're looking forward to making you a millionaire.
Yeah, I'll probably give you a call this week on a couple of these deals because I need some help.
You got it, man. That's what we're here for.
Awesome. Good luck
Excellent.
with that.
All right, and we'll have a book going out to you, and I might even sign it. Should I sign it for him?
Absolutely.
All right, of course I'll sign it for him. All right, Mike. Thanks so much. By the way, anybody else want to call in? 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. One more time for good luck. 855-939-1137. Call in with your questions. Call in and get the book. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, let's see. Lucas, why don't you call in on that question? You put a question up on Facebook. It's an interesting question. I think it'll be great if you, I don't know if you can call in, but if you can call in, call in. If you can't call in, just let me know on I'm sorry, you're actually watching from YouTube. If you can't call in, just let me know you can't call in. I'll try to answer the question. It's just more, I may need some more information from you to answer that interesting question. So anyway, getting back to this. All right, so what do you think? What do you think about investor schooling, Linda?
I love investor schooling. I love being part of it from the very beginning, from the thought process you had and our open house that first night we had, and the attendees that came out for it, and the excitement. There was excitement in the room that night. You could just feel what was actually going to be coming. And I think we ended up with 3 students started that night. And
well, there was 12 people in the room, but you're right. I think we started with...
There was more than 12 people in
was
the
there more than
room.
12
Your
people?
wife keeps very good record of who was there, and I can go show you right now.
That's funny. I thought it was 12.
But I think we had 12 pizzas.
That's great. I didn't realize it was that big. I thought it was a lot smaller. I know. I remember when we first opened. We were sitting there with my former partner. We were sitting there and we were talking about how we didn't think anybody was going to show up, and they showed up. So that was pretty cool.
No, a lot of people showed up, and from that point on, every Thursday we were there, and more came, and more signed up and wanted to join, and to watch people succeed, the ones that succeeded who were here from day one, and their stories, and all the success stories that followed from that. It's amazing. It's a great experience to witness, actually.
So if you
happy
want
to be part of it.
this, how can they be part of it?
Come to Investor School, or register at investorschooling.com.
There you go. Right. So
Come out Thursday night and see what it's all about.
investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com, and you can register, or you could call us now at 855-939-1137, and we will talk to you. Now, we have Lucas on the phone. Should we talk to Lucas before we go to commercial, or should we talk to Lucas after we go to commercial? What do you think? Do you like Lucas?
I do like Lucas.
I like Lucas, too. So let's talk to Lucas now.
Don't make him wait.
What's going on, Lucas?
Hey, how are you? Thanks for taking my call.
So you had so I know you're a student because I saw the name, but you had a complicated question. So why don't you start from the beginning and tell me exactly what's going on.
Yeah. So I don't think it helps that I hit the send button prematurely. So what I'm trying to get at here is,
That was
am
premature
expanding.
send buttoning. Premature send button pushing is never mind. See, I know I get the
Yeah.
looks from my wife when I say stuff like that. I can't even say stuff like that on the air, you know?
So, all right. So my carpet cleaning business is doing pretty well, but I am expanding into epoxy and concrete polishing, and I am going into the winter. Not probably the best time, but with that said, I'm getting a fantastic deal on new Husqvarna equipment. And the question I have for you, Larry, is I have $25,000 package put together. But because of you and schooling and everything that you've been teaching us, I have some amazing credit cards with high lines and 0% APR.
Awesome.
But yeah, thanks. It doesn't matter. And so my thing is I'm trying to build the credit on my EIN, because even though this particular company has been established for 6 years, we don't have bad credit, but we don't have enough credit. So, what's your advice? I was going to put half on the credit card, 0%, and then because the loan that the John Don goes through is like private, I guess, and they tried to hit me with 25. I said absolutely not, and then they came back and made me sound like I was special at 14.9, and I said you're not listening to me. I have good credit. So anyway, we're at 12, and I just don't know what to do.
Okay, so this is where it gets really weird, especially for the people listening. I'm always a fan of buying stuff on credit, even if you have the money to buy it. Now, I'm not talking about couches and and television sets. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you're investing in your business, you buy it on credit because you might need the cash in case there's a crunch or a bad month. So that's why I'd rather you buy it on credit. Now, 12% is not horrible, especially in today's market. And at the same time, you're also building credit in your company's name, which is also fantastic. So I teach people, and one of the things that Lucas is referring to is at Investor Schooling, we're teaching people how to build business credit, and building business credit is really important, especially if you have a business. So I'm kind of on the fence. You're saying you have half the cash. Is that what you're saying?
I have all the cash,
Okay.
but I'm trying to build the EIN. But at what expense? Like, where do you say to yourself, I broke it down. It's going to cost me over $1,500. Well, basically, the history of the loan on my EIN is going to cost me $1,500. So, I mean, that might be nothing to some people, but to me, that's a lot. Just to have that history. You're
looking at it the wrong way. So it's not going to cost you $1,500. It's going to gain you what in the future? It's going to gain you more credit. Like, let's say you want to advance your business into something huge. Maybe you need to get more machines. Now you have to get $100,000 or $150,000 or $200,000 worth of machines, and you need to get credit for those machines. You'll be glad at that time to get that credit. And yeah, maybe it costs you $1,500 now, but it doesn't cost you a lot. And the other thing too is the reality of building credit in your business is, I'm telling you, in the long run, it's priceless. And you don't have to keep the loan. You don't have to keep the loan through the period of the loan. You could pay the loan off early, and instead of paying instead of paying $1,200 or $1,500, you pay off the loan half the time, and you have $750 in interest that you paid to build your credit. I mean, right now, I'd write a check to somebody for $10,000 to have a perfect business, a brand new business with a perfect credit score that I could borrow hundreds of thousands of dollars for. I'd write a check in a heartbeat for that. But it's an imaginary scenario, of course, but I would do it. So don't think about what it's costing you. Think about what you're building. And on the other side too, that cash that you have in your name is important to keep because you may need it in the future if something goes bad. So that's my thought on why you should do it. But you have to be comfortable with it too. You got people out there like James Ramsey say never buy anything on credit, and he's right also. And the reason he's right also is because some people are just uncomfortable with it. They can't sleep at night knowing that they have this credit. They have this much money. They owe this money to other people. I mean, I owe millions to people right now. And the reason I owe millions to people is because I have millions of dollars of mortgages. So that's why, and I'm very comfortable with it. I know I'm going to be able to pay it. I know that the rents coming in are going to be able to pay it. And I know that nothing bad is going to happen. So you understand the difference?
I do, but the only thing I want to tell you that your buddy Phil Falcone raised a question for me to ask the loan officer was, is there a prepayment penalty? And this particular lender, the problem here is probably the lending company, but there is a early. It's not. So instead of it going to 12, I pay 5% interest on the remaining balance of the loan. So in regards to everything you just said, yes, I'm on board. Thank you. I'll take everything under advisement.
How long of a loan is it?
I have not. Well, I have to sign it on Monday. It's either 36, 48. I can do whatever I want. I could do 12 months.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the question I should ask you. How long should I do the loan for?
Whatever you feel comfortable with making the payments. But I'm just concerned. Why would they have a prepayment penalty on a small loan like that? That's just unusual. Or is it a bank?
I'm sorry, I don't have the name. It's a private company.
Okay. I mean, they can
if
do
I said
anything
the
they
name,
want.
if I said the name, you would probably know it.
Yeah, they can do anything they want, but it's just unusual to have a prepayment penalty on a loan that small. But okay, again, just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Can you make advance payments without a prepayment penalty? Find all that out. And there's a prepayment penalty work till the end. And are you paying 5% on the existing balance or 5% from the beginning? Just double check. But it just seems weird.
Okay.
All right, man.
Yeah.
And thanks so much. I totally appreciate
Okay.
it. We'll see
Hey,
you guys.
thanks,
When are we
guys.
going to see you back in class? I know you've been online, but when will we see you back in class?
I'm trying, Larry. It's I'm gonna have a push because people are cleaning up. The kids are back in school, and then once it settles down, But thank you. Please don't think that I am not interested or not around.
I see
every
you
Thursday
online, so
night,
I'm okay
every
with it.
Monday night.
It's just always more fun when you're in class, so I can make fun of you in the classroom. No, I'm only kidding. I don't make fun of people. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Do I have a target on my back? I mean, am I that? Is Meta gonna bounce? Or I have time. I mean, some people don't.
I'm looking for Meta to go to 85. I'd like to see Meta hit 85, and then I'd buy it. But I actually do think it's going to bounce. I think it'll be 110 by the end of this coming week. But it's all speculation because there's no pattern anymore. Now we have to wait for the next pattern. You're gonna have to give it at least 45 days for the next pattern. So Meta's not a play for me no matter what for the next 45 days, unless I get sucked in because I feel like maybe it can only go up and I'm back at the how much lower can Meta go? It's amazing now.
I also want to thank you for CCL and Royal Caribbean.
There's a good plays. Huh?
Anyway, before I get off the phone, especially since I'm live, I just want to say that you've changed me and my dad's life, and I appreciate everything that you do. And you think putting your money in a savings account, you think you're doing the right thing, but learning how to invest properly is definitely the way to go. I'm just mad I didn't join your class sooner and get involved and all that. So thanks for everything.
The key is you did.
Exactly. Thank you, Linda. That was awesome.
You did it.
I got tears in my eyes, so because of that, I got to go to a commercial. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes.
All right. See you guys.
This is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling.
Mike's hot.
All right, welcome back to Investor Schooling Live. I'm getting yelled at by my wife.
That was not
You're yelling at me already.
But wait a second, that's not what I did.
No, what did you
I
do?
was being dorky and making a joke, and you didn't get it.
What was the dorky joke?
Because he said the mic's hot, so I was going to tap it and see if it was.
Ooh, well, the show's over now. Me and my wife.
I didn't mean that way either. Oh, my Lord. This show's going right down the tubes.
Yeah, you're right. All right, so now I'm all red. Holy cow. All right, welcome back to
You actually are turning red.
I know, I am turning red. It's nice to be able to flirt with your wife on the radio at the same time and have everybody watch and listen or whatever, All right.
That's awkward, too. But anyway.
We need to change the subject really quick. So welcome back.
Censored.
Welcome back to Investor Schooling Live. I'm Larry Steinhouse. I'm here with my wife, Linda Steinhouse, which is so exciting. So I have a question for you, Linda.
Yes.
Can you tell us about a favorite story of a student? You don't have to name the name, but just a favorite story of a student, maybe, that you had? I mean, we just heard Lucas. He say that we changed his life. We changed his father's life, which is so awesome. Thank you so much, Lucas, for that. I really appreciate it. We heard Michael say that his life is being changed. We have stories after story after story. We have 165 five-star Google reviews of people that we changed their life. But do you have a favorite story of someone's life we changed?
I can't say I have a favorite, and especially putting on the spot, there's so many that I'm, as I said earlier, that I'm very happy for. The one that definitely comes to mind is a fun one because people think investing is for people who've been around in the working world for a while and have some money to do that. But of one student who was 18 years old, who was involved with the family here as students, and he helped in his dad's business. And Larry's story of buying his first house at 18 years old. Well, he wanted to beat Larry with that, and he actually did. And the way he did beat Larry at it, although he was 18 as well, he hadn't graduated high school yet. So it was a month before his graduation, and he was able to, he had made $10,000 on a deal and was able to do that, and actually decided not to go to college from that point on because he knew you could make money in investing in yourself, actually. So that was one good thing when you actually see younger people finding this, because I had no clue such things existed. Even when you first told me about buying a house at 18, and I thought when I was 18, I never ever thought that was a possibility, never even knew anything in real estate existed other than putting your house up for sale, people come look at it and buy it. That to me was real estate. So this has been very eye-opening. A lot of ways to buy real estate.
Isn't it fun when I go to a closing and I buy a house and I come back with a big check?
Oh, that's very fun for me. You can do that as often as you want, honey.
So a lot of people, like traditional real estate, you put money down as a deposit, and then 30 days later you go to closing and you bring more money, and then you own a house. Well, we put stuff under contract, and we never give them any money. We never give the title company any money because we don't have to. And then we go to closing, and we go to closing with no money, and we leave closing with a big check. And it's very funny because you're buying houses and getting a check when you buy the house, and you make positive cash flow. Now, does it happen every deal? No, it doesn't happen every deal, but sometimes it happens. It's really nice. I mean, we did one, 6 months ago. We came back, we left with a $35,000 check. We bought a house. We left with a $35,000 check, and now and that house, we're actually working on that house, renovating it. It'll be done probably in about 3 weeks, and it's beautiful. And I think we're going to make on that house, I think we're going to make something like $1,200 a month. $1,200 a month positive cash flow on that house. That's not bad.
That's nice.
And we got a $35,000 check when we left the door, so that's pretty cool. That went a long way to even renovate it, so that's pretty neat too.
It's fabulous.
Yeah.
You've got all these techniques, all these ways to do it that are unheard of to so many people.
See that? And if you didn't believe me, now you can believe my wife.
I've witnessed it.
All right, so if you want to become part of Investor Schooling, you go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. Sign up for a class this Thursday. And by the way, if you sign up for a class, guess who calls you and reminds you to come? You don't want to tell them that?
No.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you who reminds you to come. Well, by the way, we're still giving out books. If anybody wants to call and say and give an argument why they should lease a car or argument why they should buy a car, if you call with that argument, it's an intelligent argument. Either one is a good answer. I just want to know what your thoughts are on it. And I will definitely, I will send you out a book called Money Hacks. That's my book called Money Hacks. You can go to Amazon. You can pick up this book. It's subtitled because everything you think you know about money is wrong. And I'm telling you right now, when you read this book, you will be very impressed. And they also got a lot of cool reviews on Amazon about the book, too. All right. What else we got? We got we have some Chris saying the only thing he wrote on, Christopher says on Facebook, the only thing he wrote was buy, and I'm not sure what he means by that. But if you want to call in, Chris, you can call in 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. Give us a call, 855-939-1137, with any questions you have about real estate, the stock market, what's going on in the world, 855-939-1137. All right, so let's see. What do we want to talk about now, Linda? What do you think's a good topic?
What do I think's a good topic?
I asked you first.
I don't know.
All right,
I can't do on the spot. It's hard enough to be here talking. I hate my voice.
You hate your voice? I think your voice
Sorry,
is sweet.
everybody. I have to listen to it.
Somebody call in and give Linda a compliment. What a
Stop.
great job she's doing today, because she's doing great. 855-939-1137. So why don't we talk about, I'm going to talk about this crazy stock market. Holy cow. We had another awesome day on Friday, yesterday, which I can't believe. I think the Dow closed up over 900 points. Wow, that's insanity. Insanity. Actually, it was over 800 points. 828 points. It closed up over 828 points on Friday. Now, so what do you think's happening here right now? And I said this, so for you guys who don't know, I have a daily show. So I have a daily show called Money Chat Now, and you can watch that show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. If you're watching the show online right now, pretty much you're going to get that show as well. And I do that show every morning at 7:30, from 7:30 to 8:30, and I talk about politics, I talk about the stock market. And one of the things I talked about was what's going on right now and why the stock market is actually going up right now. I actually think it's right around the peak. I don't think it's going to go much higher than this. It could hit 33,500, would be the absolute peak, but I don't even know if it's going to reach that. But the reason is because we're in earnings season right now. So because we're in earnings season, we have about 2 more weeks of earnings season, and the stock market always goes up during earnings season. Very rarely goes down, I should say, during earnings season. But we also have had some bad earnings. Now, Amazon, you heard me talk to Mike a little while ago about how I predicted Amazon. Amazon to me was obviously was going to go down. And again, it's very simple. It was going to go down because the price per share, the earnings per share, called the multiple, was so ridiculously high. It was up over 77, and the reason it was so, and because it was so high, and the market coming down, we have a recession that people are, pretty convinced that we're going to have a recession. So we know that their guidance is going to be bad. We know that they're not selling as many things on Amazon anymore. I mean, we used to get a package a day, right? We used to get a package a day at the office, and we're no longer getting a package a day. Now we get maybe a package a month. So we know that the reason Amazon's going to go down is because we're not buying stuff anymore.
That's right. You're not paying their paychecks, their payroll.
Exactly right. And then Mike online says the market knows that the red wave is coming, and the red wave is coming. There's no doubt. We're definitely going to have a better chance of capitalism working again as the red wave comes through in November. We have 10 more days, right? 10 more days to the election. Yike! 10 more days. So if and I mean, we'll tell you that the stock market will peak. Will actually do really, really well that day, assuming that they can get the results that day. I don't know. I mean, we keep watching all these.
I don't know.
These voter cheating, voter stuffing, ballot box stuffing, and But wait a minute. Hold on. I'm on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. So none of that happened. We all know that the election was had complete integrity, of course.
And then you'll wake up.
Yeah, because you have complete integrity. Because if you didn't have complete integrity, we wouldn't need to suppress the fact that somebody could think that there wasn't integrity, right? Unbelievable. So Facebook jail and YouTube jail, I've been in all of those too, because I talk about what I think is a reality, which some things didn't make any sense. But anyway, getting back to that, if we do have a red wave go through, we will see the stock market peak. It'll actually have a really great day. However, we're going to be we're going to start heading back into what I call the dead zone, which is the period between 2 earnings seasons. and the stock market will go back down. My prediction is that at the end of the year, the stock market will close probably just under 30,000. So if you guys want to play that, you can. Then January, we start heading into earnings season again, and that will start to make the stock market start to go up again. So watch for all of that. All right. Anybody else? If you guys want to call in, 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. Feel free to call in. Talk to me about anything that has to do with money, anything that has to do with anything else. And real quick, I mentioned Meta before as a stock. So I'm looking for. So right now, Meta is unpredictable because it's now hit below 100, which, by the way, is the lowest it's been since 2016.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty bad actually, and so a lot of people think it's an opportunity, and I got to be honest with you, it is an opportunity. There's no doubt. But if you're going to buy and hold this stock at 100, just buy and hold the stock at 100, you'll probably do really well with it. It'll probably hit 200 or even 300 in the next 5 years again. But I'm going to tell you what the number one thing holding back Meta is now. You know, I used to joke about it, but the reality is the number one thing holding back Meta is Mark Zuckerberg. He needs to either resign or be fired. And here's the reason why. It's not because we all hate him because he puts people in Facebook jail. That's true. I mean, I can't stand the guy. You know, the policies that he has is, hey, you're a conservative Republican. Facebook jail for you. Oh, you're a liberal and you can say nasty things. Oh, that's okay. Keep saying them. I mean, that's just the rules. I mean, if you've seen it, it's unbelievable. But the real problem with Zuckerberg is he's taking other people's money, all the people who invest in Facebook as the shareholders and stock owners, and he's playing in this new toy called the metaverse. And that's the problem. This metaverse, I mean, whether it's going to become something big or not, it's not here enough to monetize it yet. You know, you got these people who bought these, I mean, some ridiculous people who bought these, streets or buildings in the metaverse, and they paid $340,000 for it, and now they're worth nothing. I mean, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a really neat place to play games. It's going to be a really neat place to go to a venue inside the metaverse and pretend you're watching. You know, you can have a 3D view of a concert, a 3D view of a comedy show. You can have a 3D view of me. It's going to be great, but the reality is, so what? I mean, it's not going to be much different than just watching it on television now, except you have 3D glasses. And you're not going to have, and there's not going to be any other 3D, everybody else is going to have 3D glasses too that you wear, and you're going to watch it. So I don't think his metaverse is going to do what he thinks it's going to do, and I also think that he's wasting way too much money of Meta, which owns Facebook, the company called Meta. I think he's wasting way too much money of this on this big dream, and eventually the shareholders are going to get angry, and eventually the shareholders, and they're obviously reacting by selling their shares, but they're also eventually going to get to the point where they're going to say, hey, he has to go. And when he goes, Facebook stock will rally. The day they announce that Zuckerberg either resigned or that Zuckerberg was fired, the stock will rally because of this. Now, I don't know if he can be let go because he may own too many shares, but we'll see. Mike says something about the Santa Claus rally, and by the way, there's no such thing as a Santa Claus rally. I don't care what the news tells you. There is no such thing as a Santa Claus rally. It is not because of the retail stores doing well. It's mostly because people are selling stock because they have so many losses that year and they want to take the losses. I actually explained that the other day in class. I don't know, I only have a couple more minutes, so I'm not sure. Maybe I have enough time to explain it. So what happens at the end of the year is basically, if I have a whole bunch of wins and I have some losses, I want to, remember we talked about, John called in a little while ago and he had this Twitter stock, he doesn't know what to do with it because he has to pay taxes on it. And I suggested to him for him to sell his losses. He could take the losses against the wins. So exactly what happens here is now I have a whole bunch of gains, but I have a couple of stocks here that I've lost money on, and I can't realize those losses until I sell it. So I decide to sell those stocks, and the reason I decide to sell those stocks is to take the losses against the gains so I don't have to pay as much taxes. Now, because of that, because I've sold this stock so cheap, somebody out there realizes that they want to buy this stock, and then they buy this stock, and this stock rallies up higher. So it's really not a Santa Claus rally. It's really an end of the year getting rid of dogs that you had, and somebody else buying them, and that's what makes it a rally. It has nothing to do with Santa Claus. It has to do with smart money. You ever see the movie? The movie with Eddie Murphy. Was it Eddie Murphy?
Trading Places.
Yeah, Trading Places, right? And he said, and you see him, he becomes good at this, and he goes, and they're like, and Mortimus and whatever guy they're talking about, and he's like, we should sell this right now. And he goes, no, wait, and he describes this whole scenario about I can't remember, but it just came to mind.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, it is a great movie. Actually, it's a really great movie. And if you want to know about how the stock market works, watch that movie. But it's a great scene, and he's convincing these old timers to wait a couple of more seconds, and they made millions because he convinced them to wait a couple of more seconds. And that's basically the concept. You have to start to think about what other people are thinking and what they're going to do, and that's where the Santa Claus rally comes from. All right, I hope I didn't completely confuse you, but it's a lot of fun. All right, so everybody out there, if you want to, you go to investorschooling.com, and you could maybe even. Oh, by the way, Linda, real quick. So Linda, if you would come to investorschooling.com every Thursday, Linda puts out great snacks. Right? And actually, she's known for her snacks. I know it's kind of crazy, but you're actually known for your snacks. There are certain people who come in and are like, oh, Linda made this today, Linda made that today, Linda made that today. You guys want to know why I'm getting so fat?
Oh, stop.
It's all Linda's fault.
Choose to eat it.
I know. It's because I choose. I can't
I
help
cook
it.
healthy for you at
Oh my
home.
goodness. When you make those lemon bars or those caramels, whatever the heck, what is these caramel things called?
What, the other night?
yeah.
The caramel cookie bars?
The caramel cookie bars. All right, you guys have no idea. I mean, this is the stuff that you gotta really enjoy. All right, so we got about 30 seconds. I want to thank you, Linda. You were awesome today. I'm telling you, you had such a good time. We might have you back. We might have you back again.
They'll never tune in again.
I want to thank Dan Valdez, who helped us at WPHT and helped us with the show today. I also want to thank our in-house producer, Mike Keeper. Thank you so much. As always, Kuiper. I always get his name wrong. Isn't that terrible? Mike Kuiper.
Just say Mike's a keeper and you're covering
there you
yourself.
And there we go. And go to investorschooling.com, and we will see you guys on Thursday.
This program is paid